can say like we have started the protocol, and in that protocol we have started from the data protocols. In data protocol we have seen the protocols like MQTT, COPS UAP, AMQP, XML, right? Uh, all those protocols uh, in the detail, right? XMPP. So all those protocol we have seen the detail. After that we have started the communication or transfer protocol. In that we have seen the protocol like IEEE 802.14.2. Then we have seen Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth 4.0, 6LoWPAN, RFID, right? The NFC, near field communication, right? So those all protocol we have seen the detail. After that we have seen the connectivity protocol, or we can say like identification purpose. We will use the IPv4 and IPv6, right? So that protocol we already studied in our previous lecture. So we are not gone in the detail. Uh, so so uh, the next category, this infrastructure and or connectivity protocol, right? So in that some of the protocol we have seen like IPv4, IPv6, and 6LoWPAN, right? Then the UDP, right? So UDP protocol we already studied when we have seen this OSI model, right? OSI and TCP/IP model, right? So it's a transport layer protocol, right? For the client server network application based on the IP, right? So that we have seen. So we'll not go in the detail, right? This is generally used in the applications such as like you need the real-time performance, right? Then this some of the version of the protocol which use the UDP, or we can say like these protocols are developed over the UDP protocol, right? So such protocols are Quick, Aeron, right? So this Quick, this protocol, it's a it's connectivity protocol as well as it provides security, right? So this protocol was designed to provide the security protection equivalent to the transport layer security or secure socket layer security, right? So these are this TLS and SSL, right? These are the two security related protocol, right? So this Quick have the performance or the task equivalent to this protocol. Along with that, it will have some features like reduced connection and transport latency, then bandwidth estimation in each direction to avoid the congestion. Right. So this is the Quick protocol. Then one protocol is UIP, right? So this UIP is an open source TCP/IP stack capable of being used with the TiNi 8 or 16-bit microcontroller, right? So it's a kind of protocol which you can use directly with the microcontroller. And it was initiated by one person named Adam Dunkels of the Network Embedded System Group at Swedish Institute of Computer Science, right? And after that, uh, some other group or some other developer did the development of this protocol. Then DTLS, datagram transport layer security, right? So it's again this protocol have the like some of protocol have the multi-function. So this protocol also we can say like it's provide the connectivity infrastructure to IoT network, or it is also provide the security, right? So this protocol provides the communication privacy for the datagram protocol. Uh, so uh, and this provides security guarantee, right? Like TLC, transport layer security. Then, right, this protocol like it's allow the client server application to communicate in a way So this protocol have uh, some other features, we can say, like eavesdropping, tampering, or message forgery, right? So these, these are the like no this message forgery means no one can do the duplication of your message, right? No one can do the tampering means change some of the part of the message, or prevent the eavesdropping means no one unknown can read your message, right, or listen your message. So such kind of security features is, is provided by this protocol. Then some protocols like ROLL or RPA with IPv6 routing for low power lossy network. Then Nano IP is Nano IP. It's a kind of IP protocol, right? Internet protocol. So it's a nano internet protocol, and uh, this protocol was created to bring the internet like networking service to embedded and sensor devices, right? Without overhead of the TCP/IP. Because TCP/IP is this protocol like kind of it's we can say like overhead to the network, right? Or when you use PC or laptop kind of devices, then it's uh, not difficult to use TCP/IP. But when you are using a small sensor device, right, in that to embed such kind of protocol is somewhat difficult, right? So this is the alternative ways to provide such kind of nano IP protocol. So the main feature is like it's give the minimal overhead, right? So provide the wireless connectivity or wireless networking, and it's also provide the addressing, right? Local address. Uh, then the CCN, the content cons, con, uh, content centric networking, right? So it's an external network architecture to solve challenge in the network like scalability, mobility, and security. Uh, so for this kind of protocol, I have given more detail, right? But it's not like to remember everything. You just remember the name. That's fine. The protocol which are most popular, right? That we have already seen the detail. So these are the protocols. Some protocols which are not that much of popular, or we can say like they are out of date. Nowadays, people are not preferring such protocol, right? But in the past, when the research was going on this IoT, right? At that time, some people have developed some group or some research group have developed this protocol, right? So this CCN, we can say like it's have the feature like this effective they are efficient or effective delivery of the content, right? Like it's wherever whenever it's needed, right? So this architecture enables the caching effect as a automatic side effect of the packet delivery, right? uh, and the memory can be used without building expensive application level caching service, right? So these are some features of this protocol, right? Then TSMP, time synchronized mesh protocol, right? So it's again it's connectivity protocol as well as you can say like it's used for the communication, right? So it's a communication protocol, and this protocol is a self-organizing network of wireless devices, right? And this this protocol like it will make the devices synchronized to each other and communicating the time slot, right? So time slot means it's similar to the technology, the TDM, right? It's time division multiplexing. Then the discovery protocols, it's again one more category, right? So in that we will include the protocol like MDNS, physical web, HyperCat, uh, UPnP. Right? So this MDS is multicast domain name system, which will resolve the host name to the IP address within the small network. They do not include a local name server, right? So it's again related to the like uh, the identification, right? So it's provide the host name. Then the physical web, so this protocol enables you to see the list of the URLs being broadcast by the object in the environment around you with a Bluetooth low energy beacon. Then the HyperCat, it's a open and lightweight JSON based protocol, right? And it has the hypermedia catalog format for exposing the collection of URL. Then UPnP, Universal Plug and Play, right? It's now managed by the Open Connectivity Foundation. It's a set of the networking protocol that permits the network devices to seamlessly discover each other's presence on the network and establish the functional network service for data sharing, for to do the communication and for the entertainment purpose. Right? Then the semantic type of protocols, right? So semantic means the protocol semantic is kind of like when you write some code in that whatever the syntax you will write, right? So it's a semantic means kind of protocol which or we can say like it's a markup language or some kind of language, right? So in that we can include the IoT-DB. It's a JSON linked data standard for describing the Internet of Things. Then sensor ML, so it provides the standard models and an XML encoding for the describing the sensor and the measurement process, right? So like wherever you'll find the last the small letter L, right? So it's for language. So here sensor ML, it's like sensor markup language. Then the next is SENML, right? So it's a media type for the sensor markup language, right? So it's a simple sensor such as the temperature sensor could use this media type in the protocol such as HTTP or constraint application protocol, right? Or to transport the measurement of the sensor to be configured. Right? Then LSDL, so it's a Lemon Bit Smart Device Language. It's a XML based device language for service oriented devices. So these all are kind of the markup language. Right? Then semantic sensor net ontology, then uh, Wolfram language connected devices, right? So it's a Wolfram language, and it has a function like device read, device execute, device read buffer, and device read time series, right? And these all are the function which perform the operation related to the device. So it's a kind of a symbolic representation of each device. Then RMML, so RESTful API modeling language, right? So it's makes it easy to manage the whole API life cycle for design to sharing. So these are some semantic protocols, right? Then the next category is a multi-layer framework protocol. So in that will include uh, Algion and open source software, right? So these are kind of software framework. So this Algion is open source software framework that makes it easy for device and apps to discover and communicate with each other. Right? So it's providing kind of a framework, kind of you can say like a whole system or software. Then IoTVT is again a open source project hosted by the Linux Foundation, right, and it's sponsored by the OIC, right? So it's an organization. Then one more framework is IEEE P2413, right? So it's a standard for an architecture framework for IoT, right? IoT application, some of the IoT application. So it's a different kind of architecture framework, right? Then Thread, so this Thread is built on the open standard and IPv6 technology with 6LoWPAN as its foundation. Then Telhash, so it's like it's a combination of JSON, UDP, and DHT, right? So uh, it's a secure wire protocol powering a decentralized overlay network for app and devices. So decentralized means not a fixed server, right? So you can create the different devices as a server. Uh, then IPSO application framework, right? So then OMA lightweight M2M wave. So these all are the different multi-layer framework protocol. Right? This OMA lightweight M2M, right? So M2M means machine to machine. So it's a lightweight machine to machine protocol. Right? Then and different if you read this the detail, right? So some have some different feature, right? Uh, so this wave it's a multi-layer framework protocol, right? But it's a communication platform, right? So it can include also like in a communication protocol, and this will enables the device setup phone to device to cloud communication and user interaction from mobile device and the web, right? So this also one you can call it as a framework protocol, right? Multi-layer. Then the security protocols are some of the protocol we have seen in the connectivity, right? So those are also provide the functionality of security. Right? In security protocol, we can include the Open Trust protocol and X509, X.509, right? So this Open Trust protocol is a protocol to install, update, and delete the applications and to manage the security configuration in the trusted execution environment. And this X.509, it's a standard for a public key infrastructure (PKI) to manage digital certificates and the public key encryption. Key part of this a key part of the transport layer security protocol, right? TLS, used to secure web and email configuration, right? So it's this X.509 is based on this TLC, right? Transport layer security protocol. So this is about the all protocols, right? Uh, so as I told, right? Again, I am telling, right? Do no need to remember all the information about the protocol, right? You should know like the different category of the protocol, like communication protocol, discovery protocol, data protocols, right? Security protocol, and the name of this protocol, right? And if you want to remember, then remember some of the protocol which are most popular, like data protocols that we have seen. uh, the MQTT, right? It's most popular protocol. Then AQMP, uh, uh, XMPP, then COAP, COAP, right? Then the protocols, the communication protocol, right? Which are very popular, like Bluetooth, RFID, the 6LoWPAN, NFC, right? So that you, you should remember, right? Now, if we summarize the IoT application, then we can say like uh, which type of component IoT application generally have, right? So here you can see in the figure like there is one application in which we have mobile app for the IoT application, right? And using that app, we are we are monitoring or we are getting some data, right? And the data generally will get from the sensor in the environment, right? So uh, the data we are getting also, we have some the actuator like the home appliances, right? Like the bulb or some light, right? So that we can control through the mobile app. So here this is from a simple application, right? So in that you can see like at one end you have sensor, at the second you have mobile app, between that you have a gateway, you have the network, you may have the cloud or server, right? So mainly we can include four component in IoT application, right? Or we can say like four fundamental com- components we mostly have in IoT system, right? And those components are like sensors, device, uh, right? So with that we will collect the data or collect the information from the environment, right? Then the connectivity. So the connectivity, it's like we use some technology, right? which will use to transfer the data from one place to another place or from one device to the another device, right? Then the data processing, so whatever data the devices have, right? Before we'll do some action, right? We'll process on that data. So data processing is we can say like main component, right, of the IoT system. And the last component we can include that is user interface, like all our whatever application we are developing, right? That application is for us, for human, right? So in which way you want to use the application, like you want to monitor something, or you want to do some switching from the remote places, right? So for that you should have some interface, like you have some mobile app, you should have some website, right, where you can monitor some data, you can change some data, you can do some actuation, you can do some switching, right? So that is the user interface that we can also include the IoT component, right? So let's see each component in the detail, right? So the first component is a sensor or a device. So sensor or device, right, which will help us to collecting the data from the surrounding, right? And the data we are collecting like in real time, or we can say like uh, every minute, right? uh, Now all of these collected data, right, uh, can have various degree of complexity, right? And this complexity we can say like it's ranging from a simple temperature monitoring sensor to the complex full video feed, right? So depends on application, like you have some application that you need only simple data, right, which you can get from like a single sensor, a temperature sensor, or maybe a pressure sensor, right, or maybe you need humidity, right? So from that simple data you may need in some application like video feed, like in some surveillance type of application, right? So that you can say like this data are ranging from very simple data to complex data. So so here we have wrote the sensor or device, right? So why I wrote the device, because maybe some of your data, right, like the video feed, right, in that you will use not a sensor but you can say like device, right? So a device can have the multiple sensor, right, and that can uh, combine the data together to do more than just one sensing thing, right? For example, the best example is our mobile phone, right? So our phone, it's a device which has the multiple sensor, right? It has the GPS, which will provide the location, right? The data of location or location data. It also has the accelerometer, which will give the orientation, or we can say the position of your mobile. It has the camera, which will provide the video feed, right? It also has the temperature inbuilt, right? Sometimes your mobile will show the notification like the temperature of your phone is increased, right? So temperature is also is there in your mobile, right? Some of your mobile have the infrared, right? So that is also one sensor. So we can say like some device will have multiple sensor, right? So we can not tell like in this first component sensor will sense only single data, right? So that's why we have wrote here the devices. But the basic step or basic function, right, of the sensor or device is always remains same, right? To pick and collect the data from the surrounding or surrounding environment, right? uh, so this is the first component, right? Then the second component, it's a connectivity. So whatever the data we have collected, right, so the data we need to send it to the cloud. It maybe need to send to some processor or microcontroller for processing purpose. It may be sent to some server, right? It may be sent to like you have the many devices in your network. You have like the source device is at far from the, uh, the destination device is far from the source device, right? So if you have the mesh topology, then you will forward the data. So from one device to its neighboring device, you are sending the data, right? So for that also you need the connectivity, right? So or you can say like you need the some of the medium for the communication or for transport the data. uh, so the sensor can be connected to the cloud through various medium of communication and transport, right? Such technologies are like you can use a cellular network, you can use satellite network, you can use Wi-Fi, you can use Bluetooth, uh, you can use like the RFID or NFC kind of technology, right? So there are lots of technology, but some of those technology you have to use, right, for the communication purpose. uh, and whatever technology you are choosing, right, so you have many options. So every option we choose have some specification and trade-off between the power consumption, range, and the bandwidth, right? So that we already discussed, like if you have uh, larger area to cover, right, your devices are like in larger area, then you may use a cellular network or satellite network, right? Your area is in the limited range in some uh, 5 to 10 meter, right? Then you can use Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, right? So depends on your application, right? These different technology have the different specification, right? They have the trade-off. Trade-off means like some have the lower power consumption, then their range is also decreasing. Some have the higher, some technology is covering more range, then its power consumption is more. It need more bandwidth, right? So that is a trade-off. But depends on your application, you have to choose the technology, right, which will satisfy your specification, right? So choosing the best connectivity option is the IoT system. In IoT system is most important, right? Then the third component we will include is the data processing. So once the data is collected, once the data is collected by sensor, right, and it is sent to some of the the devices or the processor where we will do the processing, right? Then we have some processor or some software, right, which will perform the processing on the acquired data, right, whatever data we have collected. So this processing, uh, this can range from something very similar, like to checking the temperature reading, right, on the device, like AC or heater, right? Like this temperature is within the acceptable range or not, right? If it is not in that range, then they will switch on or switch off the AC, right? So from such simple processing, right, just to check a single value, right? Sometimes the data processing can also be very complex, such as to identify some object, right? Like you have the application, like you are for security purpose you have installed the camera at your home door, at your home in front of your door, right? And through your mobile you are continuously observing that video, right? Or sometimes like whenever some you have used like computer vision kind of technology, right? So you'll do the computer vision, you'll do the image processing on your whatever video you are getting, right? And you have in that algorithm you have given the face of uh, whatever the known person, right? So whenever some unknown person will be at your home and in your video that person is captured, then you will get the notification on mobile that some unknown person is there, right? So in such kind of application you have the complex function, right? Like to get the video, on that video you will do some image processing, computer vision, you apply the computer vision algorithm, right? And after that it will send the notification to you, right? So in such kind of application you have the data processing, that is a complex task, uh, right? So this is like the function that is, you can say, like the component of data processing, right? There might be a situation when a user interaction is required, right? So in data processing, sometimes user interaction is required and sometimes is not. Sometimes everything is automatic, right? So for example, like what if when the temperature is too high, or if there is an intruder in your house, right? There where the user comes in the picture. So like you have application that like whenever whatever the temperature data it is getting, so in that, like, you are observing, and you can do the automatic way, or also like if you will getting the data, and after that depends on the range, you can do the switching, right? So in that time user comes the picture, like user can switch on and switch off. Similar way, like whenever you get the notification, so you will check like the video feed, right? Who is there in front of your house, right? Or in front of your door. So if it's known, then it's fine. Otherwise you will like call the police, or you can call the security, right? So in data processing, like sometimes everything is done automatically, sometimes user interaction or intervention is required. uh, right, so here you can see like the interaction between the three components of internet of thing, right? In that you can see like one is the sensor or the actuator, right? So sensor is getting the data from the environment, and the actuation, like you will do, you want to perform some task, right? So once you will get the data, that you can see like by dotted lines connected to data storage. So whatever data, whatever sense data, right? Whatever the information you are collecting through the sensor, you will send it to for storage, right? So you can store the data in the form of like text, in form of the images, right? Or video. Then you can have some data analytics, right? So you can arrange the data, or you will provide some uh, you will do some analysis, right? After that, that data is given to the uh, some processor, some model for analysis, right? So here we can use some machine learning, deep learning, image processing kind of algorithm, artificial intelligence, right? We can use here, and after that, whatever the decision is made, right, that will send to the actuator for performing the task, right? So that is the feedback or control, or we can select command or request to the devices, right? Uh, then the last component is the user interface, right? So once the information made available to end user in some way, right? Uh, there should be like some mechanism, right? Like it can achieve like by triggering the alarm, or on your phone you will get some text or email, right? So that is like how once the process is happened, right? Whatever the command, whatever the feedback, right? That directly sent to some device, or sometimes it's get to the end user in the form of like uh, alert to alert, like alert to make alert for like they will trigger the alarm for alert, right? Or you can get the notification in your phone, right? Like text message or sometimes email, right? So also like in some application, like user might also have the interface through which they can actively check in their IoT system. Like for example, I have given the example of like securities in surveillance system. Yeah, you have installed a camera in front of your door, right? Then user have the camera installed in at home, so they might want to check the video recording, right? So through a web server. So it's kind of like you have to provide the interface, right? Or a platform where user can check the data, right? Like in some application, like you want to check the temperature of the boiler in your industry plant, right? So you should have some uh, website, you should have some software, or you should have some mobile app in which you can check that data. Right? The data cannot be like only temperature, it can be pressure, humidity, right, or some like it's if in the we are dealing with some medical application, then maybe the the parameter of the body of some patient, like heartbeat or the blood pressure or like temperature of the body, right? So doctors should have some application to see all those data, right? Uh, right. So this user interface, right? It's not, we can say, like easy task. Depends on IoT application and the complexity of the system, right? User may like need to do some action, need to perform an action that may backfire or affect the system, right? Like it has the functionality of switching different things. For example, if a user detects some change in the refrigerator, right, some temperature changes, then user can remotely adjust the temperature via their phone. Right? So you can see like here in picture you will find like it's application home automation related application. In that you can see like it has the different field like the kitchen, living room, right, dining room, office, kids bedroom, master bedroom. In front of that you can see the temperature, right, different temperature, right. uh, so actually 81 degrees, 70 degrees is not like feasible value, right? But this is the example, right? Generally we have the temperature in the range from 30 to like from 20 to 40 degree, right? Not more than that. But this is just for your information, right? In the below you will see like you have the option like the program, fan, cool, heat, auto, off, right? And then you will see like it will showing like your heater is right now is on, right? uh, in living room it is showing the temperature. You can change the temperature, right, by sliding that circle even, right? So that kind of you it's kind of user interface, right, with using which you can do some changing, you can monitor the different parameter of your room, right? So there are also cases where some actions perform automatically, right, by establishing and implementing some predefined rule, right? So that you will do in the data processing. The entire IoT system can adjust their setting automatically, and no human has to be the physical present, right? So some application is fully automatic. In some application, like we have to do some uh, action, right? We have to do perform some task like press some switch or so to send some message. Also, in case if any intruders are sensed, right, the system can generate an alert not only to the owner of the house but to the concerned authority, right? Like you will do like you have some the office in which you have confidential data. Then if you find some unknown or some suspicious person, then you will make the system like it not only send the notification to you, but it will also send the notification to some authorities, like some send some message or the call to the police station, right? So such kind of application you can use. But the main thing here is to tell you like you have some that kind of effective user interface, right? That is depends on your application, depends on your system, but you must have this kind of interface. Okay. Then the next is like the role of the artificial intelligence technology in the Internet of Things, right? So, like 2 3 day back, you have the expert lecture on like artificial intelligence in the uh, field of civil engineering, right? So, in that, if you have attended, right, you will see like nowadays people have started to use this in artificial intelligence in everywhere, right? So in IoT also we are using this artificial intelligence, right? So uh, nowadays is AI, right? Artificial intelligence and the IIoT, industrial IoT. So there is IoT which we use for the industry purpose, right? Sometimes it's also known as the industry 4.0, right? So these all are the hottest buzzword nowadays, right? So generally, whenever people are discussing about the benefit of IoT or whatever uh, the features or benefit I have discussed in this in our lecture, right? In that also, whatever the benefits we are discussing, right? Those benefits, it's not like only of benefit of IoT, but some of the benefits are of AI, artificial intelligence, right? So we can say like nowadays, whatever IoT system we have, whatever IoT network we have, right? Those IoT system are not only IoT system; they are EIoT, artificial intelligence of network. Right? Why? Because whenever we talk about the some data processing, so in that processing, we are applying some intelligence, uh, some algorithm, right? Some set of rule, right? Which will analyze the data, and after that it will take the decision. So that is, we can say like it's a kind of artificial intelligence. Right? If you talk about only IoT, Internet of Things, then the main function of Internet of Things is to connect the devices with each other. Right? So they are, the IoT is mainly for two purposes. One is to collect the data, and second thing is to send data from one device to another device, or send data from one device to cloud or server or processor. Right? That is the main application, or that is the main function of IoT. Right? But whatever nowadays, whatever application we have, IoT application, in that by default we are putting some data processing. So that is in kind of artificial intelligence, right? So the IoT nowadays, IoT is not IoT, but it's a AIoT, artificial intelligence of network. Right? So the two data transformation comes from the critical combination of AI's intelligence and the IoT's ability to generate, capture, and store the data. Right? So Internet IoT, Internet of Things, right? It's refer a system that extend the internet to various objects, sensor devices, right? Those all we call as the things, so that they can collect and share the data from their environment using other devices or software program, right? So this is that is the main aim of IoT or main task of IoT. Right? Essentially, IoT aims to connect the machines and objects from anywhere at any time. Right? So it's for communication, it's for sharing the data, it's for collecting the data. Now the artificial intelligence AI, right? It's described a system capable of learning from the data or performing tasks typically associated with the intelligence founded in the human and the animals. Right? So AI, like it's a kind of algorithm, kind of system which will use the data to learn something, right? Able to take the decision based on the data, right? Which is similar to human, right? Whatever human can take decision by seeing the data, right? Same kind of decision can be taken by the AI algorithm. So the AI technologies include the machine learning, natural language processing, voice and face recognition, deep learning, some of the image processing or computer vision algorithms, right? So these all technology, right, are included in AI, or we can say like AI will use such technology, right? Machine learning, natural language processing, right? This is used in like for chat box. Nowadays you have in your mobile okay Google, or in your iPhone you have like Siri, right? So in that you will, whatever you will tell to your phone will perform the task. So it's kind of like chat box, right? Or chatbot, you can say like chatbot. It's kind of a robot which will do chatting with you, right? Or like the device like Amazon is providing, right? Like you will tell them to play some song and they will play the song, right? So in that they are using the natural language processing. Natural language processing means whatever language understood by human, that language is also understood by your device, right? Electronics device. So some of like Amazon website or some other website, like you have some problem, they will provide you a chat box. In that whatever you write from other side, the device will send you the automatic send you the message, right? So that in that we are using the natural language processing, right? Then voice and face recognition. This voice recognition also used in the kind of like once you will record your voice in your phone, right? So it is not like anybody will speak and your phone will perform the task, right? It will perform only the task which is told by you, right? So in that we will use the voice recognition. So simply we can say AI brings the intelligence to the machine and the object. Whatever intelligence is there in your system, in your machine, in your object, that is because of AI. So together these two technology creates the intelligent connected system, right? Where we can say like AI function as a brain and the IoT function as a body, right? So IoT device collect and transmit data from multiple sources and supporting the learning process involved in the training AI to carry out the automation. So data transmission, data collection is done by IoT. Whatever the automation will perform, that is because of AI. IoT device, right? So AI brings the machine learning, decision making power to IoT system, right? And that by it's enhancing the data management, analysis, and enabling massive productivity gain, right? In AIoT application, AI is embedded into various components like edge computing, chipset, software, and is interconnected with IoT network, right? Typically, system rely on APIs to ensure the interoperability between all connected components. This allows the IoT to optimize the process and the extract valuable insight from the unstructured data provided by the connected IoT device. Right? So whatever data is generated, collected by the IoT network, we can select that data is unstructured. Right? Uh, to make them in the form of like proper manner, like you can use or your device can use, right? You will use some algorithm, that is because of IoT. So why AI is required in IoT? So the business value of IoT comes from its ability to turn almost anything from like truck and medical devices to drone and prescription drugs usage, right? So nowadays we are using the IoT with the this like different business purpose, right? So if you think like without IoT back in the system, it is not possible human to put all that data into action, right? To do this data analysis or to do the actuation to make the decision, right? So AI is rapidly converging with IoT to the extent the intelligence is on track to become a requirement of connected system, right? So there are two reason why we need IoT. Sorry, AI in IoT. So like AI enables the real-time analysis and response. So where the IoT system can collect and organize data without IoT, AI or we can say AIoT system take the thing several step further, right? Because of IoT platform offer an interface for collecting data for all of these devices. Those insights can easily be analyzed and put to use with the this AI ML system, right? Artificial intelligence or machine learning system. AI can detect anomalies, failures, and security threats in the real time, and in many cases are programmed to react, right? So AI also provide the functionality like to detect the anomaly, right? Means something this is not natural, or some failure of your system, some failure of your device. Also, it's provide the security. Then the second reason is AI also powers the long-term analysis, right? It's allowing users to identify the different pattern in historical data to spot trends that occurs over long period of time, right? So that is done by the AI. AI's complex algorithms allows enterprise the ability to run predictive analytics based on a variety of possible scenario, simplify the problem solving process for human users. Right? So uh, you can see you can understand like what is the importance of AI, right? In the recent application, right? All most of the decision making thing, right? Process or whatever the action you have to take, that is uh, decided by this AI, right? Artificial algorithm. That ability will enable organization to analyze and respond to the risk, make changes to operating parameters, and avoid the unplanned downtime in real time, allowing the business to gain a competitive edge, right? So, in business point of view, right, all the features we need like real time uh, analysis, or we don't want like our system will down, we'll do some on real time parameter changing, right? uh, or we want to prevent the risk to our system, right? Like it will not fail. So all this because of this AI, right? Then the application of AI in IoT, some of the specific application, right, in which we are using AI, or you can easily understand like AI is there in IoT. So those are like edge computing, collective robots, which is known as the cobots, digital twins, and the autonomous delivery bots. Right. So edge computing is involve the processing high volume of data at high speed, enabling users to make decisions locally without sending data to the cloud. Right. So where IoT device collect the data, it's AI/ML that enables decision making at the edge. So edge computing, it's again a technology which is, you can say, like part of IoT, in which like generally what we have to do, your device will collect the data and it will send to the cloud or server for the processing. But in edge computing, your device itself have the capability to do that decision. So your edge devices will have this AI/ML algorithm. So whatever data they will sense, right, at their end they will do the decision making, right? And then the collective robots, which is known as the cobots. So the cobot represents the fastest growing segment in the industrial automation. Right? So this is generally used in the industry. So they use a combination of IoT sensor and AML models that give the robots a sense of perception and environment awareness that allows them to make the decision and work safely alongside the human. Right? So this is generally used in industry like to transfer something from one place to another place, to do some special functionality, right? So whatever the robotics we can say, right, that is kind of uh, like robots. And then the digital twins. So this digital twins is like a virtual replica of some physical object, right? So because of that, you are able to run some simulation before deploying the actual equipment and device, right? So that will save your time, that will save your like uh, the money. Sometimes if you directly do the practical directly, you will physically you will try to implement the things, then if you are fail, then it will waste your money, it will waste your time, right? So for that, this digital twin we are using, it's a kind of a virtual replica. For instance, for example, like you might use a digital twin to test a new engine or wind turbine before sending the design to the production, right? Then the autonomous delivery robot, so it's again kind of like we can include it, it's in the cobot, right? So here also it's kind of robot, right? But here it's basically used for the delivery. So I don't know, but if you search in the YouTube, you will see like Amazon have started in some country like drones are doing the delivery of some uh, thing you have ordered, right? So that is kind of autonomous delivery robot. So in that also we are using IoT as well as AI, right? And why we need this kind of delivery robots? Because it will reduce the shipping cost, it will increase the delivery speed, right? So these are some reason we are using such kind of boards, right? So these are the application of AI in IoT, right? So we'll finish here this chapter, right? So you discuss among your friends and let me know like at what time you are okay for the quiz, right?